Greetings! Solar Strike here, and today we are here to showcase a 2001 PowerMac G4. It is the 2001 digital audio model, running at 733 MHz. It has a Radeon 9000 graphics card, 1.5 GB of memory, an upgraded optical drive, and a USB 2.0 card. We are here to showcase this computer's capabilities in the modern day, as well as doing other various tasks as part of the 2022 Marcintosh event run by Steve from Mac84 and Joe's Computer Museum. Let's fire it up, shall we? Let's run some older games, such as Doom. As you can see, it runs quite nice, despite the port being made for a much older version of macOS. We'll make some snazzy PowerPoint presentations on a 20+ year old version of Office. How about some image manipulation, as we'll demonstrate with Photoshop 7.0 here. Let's do a few edits here, there, a touch of liquefaction here, some inverting of the colors, maybe a little bit of stylization there, and voila! Our masterpiece. Let's save it as our background. I'll provide a download link to the masterpiece so you can save it for your desktops. Next, we'll rip CDs using the then new iTunes, such as this Rayman PlayStation disc, which features Redbook audio that we can convert to MP3s. But let's not stop there. Let's run some more advanced games like Quake 3 Arena. Runs decently well, with an average of 53.9 FPS at the max settings. Taking it up to 2002 with Return to Castle Wolfenstein. It runs a bit slower, but we're still getting an average of 30 FPS. Mainly in indoor sections, it gets even higher to about 40 FPS, whereas outdoor sections and especially shooting gets it in the 20s, so it's only just barely playable. These are still max settings, however, and if you turn them down, even with games like these, you can run so much more. And of course, you can emulate various consoles and computers, as well as various arcade games. Let's start with the PlayStation, with the infamous Connectix Virtual Game Station emulator, an emulator that was actually sold in stores, introduced by Steve Jobs himself, and got a lawsuit from Sony. Let's see how it runs using our same Rayman disc we used earlier. Unfortunately for me, it didn't run well at all. While audio remained intact, the colors were completely messed up on my capture card, and footage from Crash 2, another PlayStation game, confirmed it was an emulator issue. But how about some other systems? Do they fare as well? The first emulator I tested was the Sega Genesis using the DGen emulator. Using Sonic 2 here, it is not running at the full speed, but hey, that's more than you can say for some computers of this age. Next up is MAME. Using Outrun here, it's running at the full frame rate, which is a very impressive thing for a 2001 computer. Overall, this PowerMac G4 runs games and other software reasonably well from the 90s and early 2000s, and under the right circumstances, can still hold its own as a formidable operating system. But this is only the classic macOS. Shouldn't you be able to do more? And that's where two more operating systems come in. Our first one is Mac OS X Tiger, released 4 years after this computer was built in April 2005. Given that we now have a much more recent codebase, we still have a snappy system despite the much more recent enhancements, with updates to this operating system coming out as late as November 2007 with 10.4.11. As such, we can play games from the mid-2000s. How's Halo look? Pretty mediocre stuff, but it's fine with the right settings. Let's try something a little less demanding. There's our ticket with Zuma. It's just as addictive as ever. Either way, I think we pushed this machine far enough in terms of gaming, though the likes of Dune 3 and Quake 4 are available. But with the specs of our machine, it'll never run well on here. Let's try some other tasks. Word processing receives a huge jump from Office 2001 all the way up to Microsoft Office 2008. In fact, I'm actually writing the script for this very video right here on this 2001 Power Mac G4. Ain't that a surprise? But that's Microsoft software. How does Apple official productivity work? Well, while this machine can run as far as iLife 09, for a nice balance of features and speed, we'll be using the 2005 version of iLife. We can edit video using iMovie, although it requires a resolution up to 1080p. We can make some rudimentary music using GarageBand. And because we have a nice optical drive, let's make a DVD using our own Power Macintosh. Or at least, I would. But because I replaced the optical drive, it broke iDVD capabilities to burn the disk because it specifically requests for original super drives. Well, I struck out a little bit with the productivity stuff there. But for my next trick, I want to go on the internet. Unlike classic macOS, which has very limited options for internet browsing, your options are far more varied here, with me using the much more recent Interweb PPC browser by Wiknix, a fork of the legendary 10.4 project that was sadly discontinued in late 2021. As you can see, most modern websites struggle to load, but they do look fine. Heck, I was even able to post a tweet here in late January. Unfortunately, the modern web only gets more resource intensive every day, and it'll only get worse from here. That's not all this Power Mac can do though. You see, I want to sync up this 4th generation iPod Touch, but this 2010 device Tiger does not support, and it's just past the supported list according to Wikipedia. So that's where our Leopard partition comes in. According to Leopard's box, however, it does not officially support this machine. However, thanks to the program Leopard Assist, we can get past those limitations and install it on here. Or rather, Sorbet Leopard, an unofficial modification of Leopard, more finely optimized for PowerPC machines, as well as bringing in some slightly newer components that were available in early Snow Leopard betas. However, let's try seeing if we can get this 2010 iPod Touch to sync up with this 2001 beast of a computer. Well darn, I couldn't seem to get it synced. It was worth a shot, I suppose, as this device runs iOS 6, which never supported Leopard. However, what does work is a much more advanced image manipulation suite, Adobe's Creative Suite 4 from 2008. Yes, this machine does run the program, after about 45 minutes of installing it. Here's another wonderful piece of art I made using CS4. Lots of other programs like Acrobat 9 and Illustrator CS4 also work here. And that's not all. With Leopard, which receives updates up to 2009, VLC is given a much more recent version compared to Tiger. 2.0.10 from 2014 versus the 0.9 from 2009 that Tiger got. It's very striking how much you can put towards it. No, unfortunately, you can't run H.264 videos at any sort of reasonable frame rate, but that's a limitation of the Radeon 9000 graphics in this computer. With a GPU upgrade, it'll definitely be possible to make them run here. Leopard is even able to run a specialized client of Discord that emulates the full-featured Discord experience. I was able to chat for an entire hour, albeit with some really slow performance even on small servers. Overall, while there are of course limitations, it goes to show that these PowerPC Macs can prove themselves quite handy even in 2022, as long as you're sticking to reasonable tasks. And I'd be remiss if I didn't mention the countless community efforts to keep machines like these and even older still running in the modern era. It's a truly wonderful community which put together this whole March and Toss event in the first place. Speaking of which, be sure to check out other videos in the event throughout this month in the playlist I've linked below. There's surely more to come after all. Anyways, thank you so much for watching, and I hope you've enjoyed this video. What can you do with these PowerPC Macs?